The lawsuit involving Justin Baldoni has taken yet another shocking turn, and this time, it is far worse than anyone had anticipated. Blake Lively now stands accused of theft. And no, this is not merely a minor misunderstanding. New evidence has surfaced, and Justin Baldoni's legal team is not holding back. Armed with substantial proof, Baldoni is revealing details that could completely undermine Blake's entire defense. The fallout from these revelations is sending shockwaves throughout Hollywood. What exactly is Blake alleged to have stolen? How has this development affected the lawsuit? And why are industry insiders describing this case as one of the most chaotic legal battles in recent entertainment history? Let's delve into the drama-filled details that have everyone talking.
Sounds like the immediate start of this scene is Blake Lively, being Blake Lively, directing the scene.
It's a little better when it's fine.
Oh.
Look at, she's trying to change it. Well, actually, I want the light behind me. He's the director.
Okay.
You know
Okay.
to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it.
It's more!
God only knows what I'd be without you.
Like, very respectful so far, I gotta be honest. He's reaching in, he's not even being aggressive in it.
The bombshell moment came when Justin Baldoni's legal team presented evidence that allegedly proved Blake Lively's wrongdoing. According to the documents, Blake reportedly used copyrighted content from Baldoni's production team without proper authorization. These allegations are particularly damaging, given the lawsuit's broader context of creative disputes and contract violations. Courtroom observers noted how Blake's legal team appeared visibly unsettled as Baldoni's attorneys outlined the timeline, emphasizing how Blake had access to sensitive material during their previous collaboration.
To get through the Baldoni and Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively filings up until this point. So I really wasn't going to come on here because I just came back from visiting a client for like 5 hours at the jail, and I need to meal prep. I'm going to be meal prepping after we're done. But I said, no, I got to see what's going on with that lawsuit. So we are going to pick right back up. Now, please make sure, Amanda, mother of cats, nerd at law, you're amazing. Please make sure to take off your shoes, get comfortable, and like the video, okay? All right, take off your shoes, get comfortable, like the video. Amanda, do you want to be a moderator? Because you've been here. You're going to be a moderator now. There's somebody from the stream before who I had to unmake a moderator. They were turning up. The reporter asked to speak with Sloan regarding problems on the set involving Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni and the fallout over that, with Blake being labeled difficult and a power struggle existing. Sloan, without consulting Nathan, promptly responded, "That is 100% untrue. And further, your info is totally off." It is evident that Sloan never intended to honor her agreement with Nathan. Instead, she exploited the arrangement to gain a strategic advantage in the media. Because then Nathan wouldn't be expecting any response from Sloan, because she's like, we've already agreed that we're going to talk to each other first. But Sloan was like, how naive of you to think that. I'm talking to the press.
In another unexpected twist, Blake is facing backlash for leaking the names of 2 actresses involved in the lawsuit against their will. The actresses, whose identities were meant to be protected throughout the legal proceedings, were reportedly furious about the breach. Critics have condemned Blake for disregarding privacy agreements, further tarnishing her reputation. This reckless move has sparked questions about whether Blake is becoming desperate to gain public sympathy, even if it means throwing others under the bus.
Guys, I think Blake Lively just leaked the names of the 2 other actresses who were uncomfortable with Justin Baldoni, and you are not going to believe this. I cannot believe this, guys. I have zero doubt in my mind, in my opinion, that Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, their team leaked these names. And you'll see why in a second. Let's get through this. It ends with us. Blake Lively claims 2 other actresses are prepared to testify against Justin Baldoni. The new allegations were part of an amended complaint filed late Tuesday by Lively, including that Baldoni's Wayfarer partner and billionaire Steve Sarowitz allegedly told a witness he would protect the studio like Israel protected itself from Hamas. This is how you know it's a hit piece, okay?
As if matters were not already bad enough, full video evidence has emerged that contradicts Blake's claims. Footage from the set of It Ends With Us shows exchanges revealing that Blake was aware of certain production changes she had previously denied. This video evidence is particularly significant, as it undermines her credibility and bolsters Baldoni's case. Fans and legal experts alike were left stunned by the footage, with many now questioning why Blake's team would risk making claims that could be so easily disproved.
I don't know what she was thinking. Before we get to it, I think it's imperative you know what she accused Justin of in the lawsuit. She says here, Mr. Baldoni and Miss Lively were filming a slow dance scene for a montage in which no sound was recorded. Mr. Baldoni chose to let the cameras roll and have them perform the scene, but did not act in character as Ryle. Instead, he spoke to Miss Lively out of character as himself. At one point, he leaned forward and slowly dragged his lips from her ear and down her neck as he said, "It smells so good." None of this was remotely in character or based on any dialogue in the script, and nothing needed to be said because, again, there was no sound. Mr. Baldoni was caressing Miss Lively with his mouth in a way that had nothing to do with their roles. When Miss Lively later objected to this behavior.
In a controversial twist, Blake's team attempted to pivot the narrative by making grooming allegations against Baldoni, citing questionable sources. However, these claims were swiftly debunked by credible insiders, with many viewing them as a desperate attempt to divert attention from the mounting evidence against Blake. The backlash was immediate, with legal analysts warning that unsubstantiated claims could backfire and further weaken Blake's position in court.
That's the complaint. It doesn't have to do with Justin creeping on her as of yet. It has to do with that part of the production.
That she had a bad apartment, or that they said the motherhood comment?
The motherhood comment.
I don't get it.
I don't either. So all he
that's
said
what's
was
confusing about it.
Is that motherhood is important. We're going to cover the money, and you can find a place that fits you.
Well, that's
How terrible.
That's why the team
How
Justin.
disgusting.
That's why the team Justin people are making videos out of it and talking about it because it is so ridiculous. But in her defense, it could have just been such a throwaway thing that she said to Blake too. And then Blake took it and was
That's what it sounds like.
You know, yeah. So there was a video and Justin says, I found this girl, we auditioned her, I thought she was great. I brought over her tape to Blake, and Taylor was there, and they both were like, oh my God, she's perfect. And she really was a good casting match for her to be the younger Blake, like the teenage version. And so she was involved, besides giving her song, besides being there when they rewrote the scene for the rooftop scene where she is like, wait, you're a neurosurgeon? Oh, wait, you're serious. Like, the rooftop scene is so weird. And so clearly Taylor's going to be deposed. There's no way out of it, I think. She's going to be deposed, which nobody likes to be deposed.
Do they live next door to each other? I'm constantly baffled by how much she's over at Blake Lively's home.
Raw footage from the film set has become a pivotal piece of evidence in the lawsuit. Unlike edited promotional materials, this footage captures behind-the-scenes decisions, conversations, and reactions that expose inconsistencies in Blake's legal statements. Baldoni's team insists that these unfiltered clips prove deliberate deception on Blake's part. This revelation has further fueled the perception that Blake's team underestimated the power of documented evidence.
Eventually, summer 2024 ended and the social media storm around Blake Lively seemed to have died down as the internet turned its focus to other topics and controversies. But then in December 2024, the New York Times came out with an exclusive article about the subject, which included what appeared to be a complaint contemporaneously filed by Lively in California court. But what it really was basically a draft of a substantive complaint that was submitted to the California Civil Rights Department in order to obtain what's called a right to sue. This is a requirement under California courts framework. It basically is an administrative step that any plaintiff needs to take in order to file a discrimination or harassment or retaliation claim if it is under the Fair Employment and Housing Act. So in other words, for example, these are for lawsuits about employment discrimination or retaliation on the basis of...
Adding fuel to the fire, Ryan Reynolds, Blake's husband, joked about the lawsuit during an SNL appearance, seemingly believing that humor might ease tensions. Unfortunately for him, the public did not find it amusing. Instead, many viewed the joke as tone-deaf and accused Ryan of trivializing serious allegations. This misstep only intensified scrutiny on the couple, with critics arguing that they should focus on resolving the legal battle rather than making light of it on national television.
This back and forth between Blake and Justin is becoming. And certainly the latest tentacles dropped yesterday, right before midnight, as Blake Lively amended her complaint to add 2 new witnesses. Ari Emanuel over the last 2 days has come out very stringently for Blake and Justin. Blake and Ryan. We also saw over the weekend on the SNL 50, Ryan making a completely stupid joke that has backfired on him in a lot of ways. And there's more. There's more that's been happening here around this whole scene and around the drama. We're also going to get into the story from Jeff Snyder. He dropped yesterday on his newsletter here. Boom, boom. Okay, here we go. All right, this is Blake Lively alleges Justin Baldoni made other women uncomfortable, quote unquote, on It Ends With Us, and says they will testify at trial. That is massive. They will testify at trial. Defamation claim added to the suit. Now, this isn't the only thing we're going to be talking about in terms of the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively situation, but we're going to be looking at the comments here and looking at the breakdown of it all. Okay, so clearly we need to go a little bit closer for you all. So here we go. All right, there we go. I don't know why it doesn't let you just cut the sides off. Maybe it's, oh, there we go. Okay, that's good. All right. So with minutes to spare before the court-imposed deadline here of midnight Eastern Time Tuesday, lawyers for Blake Lively have just filed an amended complaint against Justin Baldoni in her sexual harassment and smear campaign lawsuit against It Ends With Us co-star and director. In a legal and cultural landscape where the blast radius from the battle is pretty large, things just got a whole lot bigger.
Throughout this legal storm, Baldoni's strategy has been clear. Remain calm, present evidence, and let the facts speak for themselves. By meticulously outlining timelines and providing solid documentation, Baldoni's team has successfully discredited many of Blake's claims. Legal analysts have praised Baldoni's patient approach, noting that it is often more effective to counter sensational claims with measured, factual responses.
Blake Lively makes that Justin Baldoni's billionaire partner used some pretty heinous analogies to compare what he'll do to Blake if she comes after him. We're going to break that down right now. And again, you know, a lot of this doesn't have any sort of empirical evidence right now. So we take it with a grain of salt until someone can testify as to hearing him say this. TMZ reported Justin Baldoni's partner allegedly made Wild War comparison, taking on Lively Reynolds like Israel versus Hamas. Now, there is no way we're going to get into this right now. I haven't been afraid to talk about what's going on over there.
As the lawsuit unfolds, Hollywood insiders are describing it as a complete mess. Many in the industry are reportedly distancing themselves from Blake, wary of becoming entangled in the fallout. Producers and studios that once championed Blake's projects are now hesitant to engage, concerned that her mounting controversies could negatively impact box office results. Baldoni, meanwhile, has seen a surge in support, with several co-stars and directors praising his professionalism and integrity.
We covered kind of more, I mean, there was like some talk at the time about drama with Blake, drama with Justin Baldoni, or Blake Lively, I should clarify for those of you who don't know, although I'm sure most people know about this. This has been like headline news everywhere.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't think anyone realized just how wild all of this is, and it's really popped off as several lawsuits and articles have come out, and there's just a whole lot to go over. We did all finally watch It Ends With Us, which last time people were not happy that we hadn't seen the movie, even though it had just come out, and it was like a super requested topic. So we wanted to cover it and just, you know, and we made it very clear we haven't seen this. This is just our thoughts so far.
Well, we've seen it
But,
now.
Yeah, we've seen it now.
While some of Blake's fans continue to defend her, many have begun to question her actions as more evidence comes to light. Social media platforms are buzzing with heated debates, but a growing number of users admit that the proof against Blake is difficult to ignore. Even those initially skeptical of Baldoni's claims are now acknowledging that his methodical release of evidence is both convincing and damaging to Blake's case.
Really about to hit the big leagues, like all these deals and all of these things. The crazy thing is, I haven't even gotten to the Blake stuff and I'm already getting mad. They realized after a while that all this money was coming in, and they didn't just have to split it 4 ways. They had to split it between the 4 of them, their agent, their manager, the ad sales company. And a lot of money was going out of their pocket. And don't even get me started on taxes. So some of them came up with a plan that if there were less people in the group, they would make more money. And so they took something that one of the people in the group did, like, months and months prior, that literally nobody gave a shit about, and they repackaged it in a bow for the public. Everyone went absolutely wild with it. There's a fucking piece of information missing with the Blake Lively and like Justin Baldoni stuff. And so even though they're saying to us, here's this, here are these texts, and oh my God, I cannot tell you how often I've been frustrated seeing people say stuff like, I want to see the evidence. Where's the evidence? This isn't like a crime case where there's specific evidence that's incriminating to one side or the other. What has happened here is one side is going to weave a narrative that they want to be real. And then the other side is going to weave a different narrative that they want to be real. And they're going to add in the evidence across point A and point B. And then it's just who has the better story. And of course, this is so annoying to say, but it's true. Somewhere in the middle is the truth. And here's my last little conspiracy thing before we go into looking at some of the messages.
With public opinion shifting and legal experts predicting a grim outcome for Blake, the pressure is mounting. Some close to the actress are reportedly urging her to settle quietly before more damaging details emerge. However, sources say Blake remains defiant, determined to fight until the end, even as the odds continue to stack against her. Meanwhile, Baldoni's legal team appears confident and composed, signaling that they are prepared for whatever Blake's team throws next.
Every few days, it seems like there's something new that comes out, and it can honestly be so hard to keep up with this case. Recently, Baldoni's team said that they plan to put up a website and dump a bunch of raw evidence on there, uncurated and unedited, so the public can see everything in its proper context. And they claim that when the public sees everything in this way, all these communications between Baldoni and Lively, it'll show that Baldoni is the one being victimized by Regina George here.
Can I just say that we don't have a click problem at this school? And some of us shouldn't have to take this workshop because some of us are just victims in the situation?
That's probably true. How many of you have ever felt personally victimized by Regina George?
What began as a legal dispute has spiraled into one of Hollywood's most talked about scandals. With evidence piling up against her, Blake Lively now finds herself cornered as Justin Baldoni's legal strategy delivers blow after blow, from leaked footage and name-dropping controversies to contradictory statements and botched PR moves. Blake's defense has gone from shaky to catastrophic.
As to their own uncomfortable experiences with Justin Baldoni, with his Wayfair studio partner, Jamie Heath. The studio does not name the actresses, quote directly from their text, or include screenshots, out of concern that they may be exposed to the same sort of cyberbullying and threats Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds claim they endured, along with others associated with the ongoing saga. This is so rich. The amount of bullying we've seen them do, all the evidence we've seen. Nice pool, and they have the nerve. These narcissists are making me want to just vomit. Sources.
Unless Blake can achieve a miraculous legal turnaround, this battle appears all but lost. As Hollywood watches this train wreck unfold, one thing is clear: Justin Baldoni is winning the war, both inside and outside the courtroom.